The future is definitely looking bright, whether or not if you're a Marvel or DC fan, or both, which most of my audience are generally a fan of all Marvel, DC, pop culture related things. The future is looking really, really bright. We have so many big movies coming out. The Batman coming out in March, Black Adam, potentially The Flash, Aquaman. We have Thor Love and Thunder currently slated for July the 8th, 2022, although we haven't had an official trailer yet. So if we don't get a trailer very, very soon, within the next 3 to 4 weeks, people would think it's getting delayed. Then we've got other Marvel movies coming out. 2023, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. At the moment, we have The Marvels, which is Captain Marvel 2, 2023. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, 2023 at the moment. So, if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, pop culture based videos that we do on a daily basis. We tend to cover news, leaks, rumors, speculation pieces, what scoopers on Twitter are saying, that kind of stuff, fan theories, actual theories, and that kind of good stuff. We literally cover everything to do with the pop culture field. In this video, we're going to focus on some information, some leaks, some potential spoilers for Thor Love and Thunder. And yes, it does still sound like a porno to me. And also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I believe is the title. I don't believe it's going to have a real title. So if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos, and it helps the channel. Also, comment down below to help the algorithm if you want to see what that beautiful face behind the beautiful voice looks like. Just check us out on Instagram at Warstu. Also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into this. So, there is a lot of information going around at the moment about both Thor Love and Thunder and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We are finally going to get the introduction of Adam Warlock, who is played by William Poulter. That has actually been confirmed. Now, Adam Warlock should have been part of the Infinity Saga, especially with his Soul Stone and Thanos and that kind of stuff. They should have introduced him there. And in theory, since we last seen the Cocoon, go get him, Adam Warlock's in theory has been looking for the Guardians for freaking years and years. It's freaking insane when you think about it. So, the movie is now set to come out in 2023, 6 years after Volume 2. Who is the villain of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? It is Kang. No, it's not Kang, I'm joking. It's actually supposedly, rumoredly, according to a lot of people online, but I'm going to give creditation to GWW Editor-in-Chief, Casey Walsh, who is known for sharing accurate MCU scoops, appears on a podcast called Change My Mind to discuss some rumors they've heard. In regards to the third Guardians movie, Welsh mentioned that he had heard the primary antagonistic would be the High Evolutionary, saying, I did hear this, a thing that's been floating around. The villains of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the High Evolutionary. In describing the character's role, Walsh said, I know he's like one of those I'm gonna experiment on being guys, and that's essentially the idea in the movie, that he is gonna be the one who created Rocket. And actually, that does go back to a plot leak that came out about 2 years ago. Yes, we both understand and know just because a plot leak is a plot leak, you don't even know if it's real. But no one knows what's real until the trailers come out or until you've actually seen the movie. So I do believe this information. Now, in the comics, the High Evolutionary is a freaking beast. Essentially a character who experiments on beings, doing so for purposely creating an extremely powerful godlike being. He is from Earth in the comics, but it is likely that the MCU counterpart has to have some kind of connection or be similar to Peter Quill and would end up in another part of space at some point. The High Evolutionary did create animal, people, hybrid creatures in the comics, so Rocket being one of those creatures would make a lot of sense. It really would. Then when you factor in the connection to other movies, he has big connections in the comics to already being introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. People like Thor and Hulk. He also made use of the Dark Hold. That is a very cool point. of Doctor Strange 2. Very interesting. The result of which Pedro and Wanda Maximoff receive their powers, whilst WandaVision both introduced the Darkhold to the MCU and provided some backstory of Wanda's power. The direct origins of neither hers or Pedro's power were actually revealed in this series. So a project with a High Evolutionary and the Scarlet Witch with a similar reveal could happen down the road. So the prospect of that is freaking interesting. Now, there is an actor that has recently been revealed. He's in James Gunn's Peacemaker series, which is freaking hilarious. I'm such a John Cena fanboy. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really cool. So the actor I'm on about has a really hard name for me to pronounce, so I might butcher it, but let's attempt. So the actor's name is Chadwicky. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the last name because you guys like butchering me. But what is interesting is he actually has been confirmed to be working on the movie, obviously filming it, but he hasn't confirmed who he is. But he says his role is an extremely powerful character, one of the most complex characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever, and that pretty much does describe the character that is the High Evolutionary. But that doesn't confirm that he actually is the High Evolutionary. But most people online, and you would think High Evolutionary, you see the Rocket connection, and most people seem to think that'll be it. So we've got a huge plot leak. Now, this is a huge plot leak coming from James Gunn. James Gunn confirms this is going to be the last time we'll see this team, pretty much confirming someone is going to die. This is the end for us. The last time people will see this team for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, you could perceive that in multiple ways, that someone is going to die. And if you're a betting person, you should say most likely, here is why: Rocket is likely to die. Somebody is dying in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We know that as a fact because filmmaker James Gunn said in a Q&A who's going to be the unlucky character to kick the bucket. Now, people thought it was Batista's Drax role because Drax is pretty much not in a good place with Marvel apparently, but some background and some side character more likely could be Rocket. We don't want to see Rocket die. Rocket undoubtedly a fan favorite, especially when it comes to the list of certain writers in particular, but come on, let's face it, it makes the most sense for the character, at least at this point, to die. So far, we've seen both Star-Lord and Gamora get relatively complex stories arcs between the two Guardians films, and then Endgame and Infinity War. When it comes to Rocket, however, he's the one character in the group with the most unanswered questions. If 3 is dedicated to Rocket in time then loses, the fact that High Evolutionary is most likely going to be the creator. Is the creator going to kill him? We don't know, but we are very much looking forward to seeing that cute Rocket again. And yeah, Guardians 3 does sound very promising. I presume Adam Warlock's role is something to do with the Sovereign. Is Adam Warlock working with the Sovereign, or is the Sovereign working for Adam Warlock? We don't know. So Thor Love and Thunder, a love story to Thor fans, I guess you could say, with a title like that. It's coming out in July. We need a trailer soon. There is a really old plot leak, but what I like about this plot leak is it's 2 years ago, and it actually says a lot of information that wasn't actually valid then. So I thought I'd go over this video, and based on the most recent videos we've been doing, you guys absolutely love this. So Christian Bale is playing the main villain, Gorr. We know that. That's affirmed. In this version, Gorr is an alien whose race was slaughtered by Hela. He blames the Asgardians, and after years of searching, Nikor's sword to wipe them out. It does make a lot of sense, and we do know with the Fantastic Four, the build-up is to bring Galactus to the MCU in a trilogy, and we know Doctor Doom is going to have a part to do with the Namor storyline in Wakanda Forever. Thor is having an intergalactic adventures with the Guardians when Gorr attacks and wounds him, then announces that he will kill them, the remaining Guardians on Earth. Thor goes there to protect them with Rocket and Groot. Thor can't find Gorr, so he's forced to ask Jane Foster to help. Gorr's sword is powered by dark energy. Jane might be able to track it. Jane is now working with Sword, and director Gabriel Brand is not happy when Thor shows up needing help. Thor, Jane, Brand go to the new Asgard, where they reunite with the Valkyrie and time displayed Loki, who ends up a prisoner there after whatever happened on his spin-off show. Obviously this was written before the spin-off show happened. Although Loki is a new time display Mjolnir. This does not answer to Thor because it's under a different spell. Gorr tricked Thor into leading him to the new Asgard and destroyed it with an army of shadow berserkers. During the chaos, Jane wields Mjolnir and fends off Gorr for the time being. Now, we do know she is essentially gonna become Lady Thor, which I'm personally looking forward to seeing that. But a lot of people go, yo, Warstu, yo, whoa. No, guys, just believe that a female can be a superhero just as much as a male can. And it is comic book accurate. There is a Lady Thor in the actual comics. So let's continue. Bran places the Asgard under Thor's protection, an outpost near a small town in Oklahoma. Thor trains Jane to control Mjolnir, and they reconnect. Valkyrie and Bran also develop a bond. Loki escapes and joins forces with Gorr to use Jane's research on dark energy and harness it through the Netherrack sword to defeat the dark energy. Has time-altered properties that Loki wants. Now, I know what you're going to say. Loki wasn't seen filming. Okay, I get it. He wasn't seen filming. That doesn't actually mean it never happened. So let's just take this as it's actually factual because I wanted to add this in the video. So please don't say anything. Actually say something so we can get a conversation going down below. All leads to a major battle between Thor and Jane against Gorr across time and space, whilst Valkyrie and Bran lead the Asgardians and Sword in the battle with the Shadow Berserkers to defend humanity. During the battle, Rocket and Groot must deal with dark energy singularity that Gorr creates before it consumes the planet, and Loki pursues his own agenda. Interesting, the Loki part. Gorr will mocap, but his pre-Necra sword form is going to be human looking. The dark energy mutates him and he's becoming more monstrous as he absorbs more of it. Brand is the other major role left to cast. Marvel Studios is looking at actress Jodie Comer and Vanessa Kirby for the role, since the character is supposed to appear in several movies like Nicholas Fury. Rocket and Groot are supporting characters. The rest of the cast, Star-Lord, Drax, Mantras, Nebula are cameos. There's some talks about having them join the final battle, but nothing's finalized. Gamora won't show up because her story is reserved for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Some comedic tone as Thor Love and Thunder. The idea is to leave the door open for Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman to return for more, but also wrap up the character arc in case they decide to stop after this. I mean, guys, even if half of this is true, it sounds cool. I know you're going to say this is fake because it's 2 years old. Guys, most of the plot leaks have generally got 50% stuff right. If you go back all the way back to Avengers 3, it pretty much works like that. Generally, most of the things in plot leaks turn out to be true. Gorr is going to kill either Korg or Meeg during the attack on New Asgard. Taika Waititi still hasn't decided on who Korg would be more impactful, but he likes playing the character. So yeah, this is quite an old plot leak. I get it, guys. And there are a lot of plot holes, especially the Loki bit, especially there being no explainer about the different spell, and that this being problematic because Loki is also speculated to be in the Multiverse of Madness. We don't know. He's not the villain of that movie. Obviously, that's going to be Wanda Maximoff for sure, sending demons through the multiverse. So yeah, there is a lot of freaking plot holes here, but we don't know what's not true and what isn't true. To be fair, I think Marvel would like it more if I talk about stuff that's not true rather than stuff being true, but I do find it very interesting. We will be talking about lots of different Marvel DC pop culture kaiju based theories, plot leaks, videos like this because you guys really like it. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy volume information we spoke about is definitely true because that's coming from actual James Gunn, who is behind Guardians 3. The Thor stuff I just threw in here because I haven't done a Thor 4 video in such a long time, but the main narrative of Gorr's motivations are spot on when you think about it. Gorr is an alien race who was slaughtered by Hela. He blames Asgard. After years of searching, he's got an item, a weapon more powerful enough to take out the Asgardians. So that is a real motivation. And yes, I get it, there's always bits and plot holes that contradict the other bit, but just take it for what it is. It could happen, it might not happen, but if you don't think the Thor Love and Thunder part isn't real, let me know down below what actually could happen in this movie. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.